Well, welcome everyone. Disappointment, obviously, the OVO AWL final series is not going to happen for 2020. We all know the reason why, but Mike, myself here, and Deb Watson, my co-commentator, we've just been working pretty hard on putting together the top goals from the highlights packages of the season. Obviously, we've put together a list of what we think are the top goals from the highlights packages. But Deb, take us through at the end of the women's season when we got wrapped up, obviously because of COVID-19, the top six.
Yeah, it was Sydney Uni finishing with the most points in 56 was Sydney University, followed by Balmain, Queensland, Uni of New South Wales in fourth, Freo in fifth, and Drummoyne in sixth. So there was still a little bit of room for changing there. I know the girls, well, everyone's super disappointed that the season didn't end, but obviously Sydney University would be pretty happy with the form that they held throughout the season.
Yeah, last year's winners, Queensland, had played 14 games along with Sydney Uni, so win percentage there of 70%. Drummoyne slipping into the top six. They'd only played 10 games with a 50% win ratio. Cronulla had played 14 games and a 39% win ratio. We're just outside that top six.
Yeah, it was really interesting. I thought some of the younger players, had really good seasons this year, even though it was short. And, it's a sort of no pressure for them in some way because they're not in contention for Olympic spots. And then in other ways, there's a lot of pressure because there's lots of people actually looking at them. But yeah, it's nice to see the young ones as well as the some of the oldies in some really good form.
Well, some of the good form, you talk about players that have been in the league for quite a few years. Leading goal scorer with 35 goals was Kiara Holden from Cronulla.
Yeah, quite incredible. She's a very, very good player. I would love to see her. Obviously she's found the love for polo again. It really is a fun game. And I think sometimes we lose the love with things that happen. And she's certainly not the only one, whether it be injuries, bad health, just, not enjoying the early mornings and the rest of it. But, she's a great talent. So it'd be nice to see her get back and, if that's what she wants, obviously at the end of the day, if it's not something you absolutely aspire to and you're passionate about, it won't happen. But if she finds that love again, it would be great to see her back in the, representative colours.
And equaling her with 35 goals, someone who always finds the back of the net, Zoe Arancini.
Yeah, she's such a great player. She creates she's so busy in the water. For her to score that many goals when there's so much pressure on her, everyone's always aware of her. She always features in all the team talks. You've got to look out for her, but she just still manages to pound her way up and down the pool. She's relentless and, scores such quality goals. It's really good fun.
And then a host of players there on 34 goals. You've got Lena Mihailovic, Abby Andrews, Rowie Webster, Matilda Kearns, all having fantastic seasons.
Yeah, absolutely. Some really good names in there. Obviously, lots of them in the Olympic squad. So they're putting in a lot of work at the moment. And so, obviously they'll be really disappointed. Tilly Kearns in that, top group, but to get that to come from more or less a centre forward position for just a couple of years ago, she was, saying she was on the out is probably, not far from the truth, but to see her progression in just a short period of time is just, it's beautiful to watch.
And I want to move now to some of the milestones for the season. Women, Rowie Webster picked up her 300th game. That's an amazing achievement in the women's game. I'm going to go through the girls first.
Even with that one, Westy, Rowie pretty much sat the year out before, with the injury with her,
yes.
Her back and everything. So for her to be reaching 300 games is outstanding.
Yeah, in women also, I've got Zoe Arancini scored her 600th goal. So she may feature in the top goals. We'll see where we get to. Also in the women, we had Ash Southern getting her 500th goal, Keisha Gophers getting her 300th game.
Yeah, impressive stuff. There's lots of mileage in those girls' shoulders, and it's great achievements. They should be very proud of themselves for doing that.
And a little stat here. Can you tell me who out of the women have won the most league titles?
What club or individually?
Individually titles, yeah.
Oh, do I know this person?
Oh, you would indeed, yes.
I don't know.
From up in Queensland.
Bronny Knox?
No, it goes to Kate Ginther, 6 titles.
Oh, I should have known.
5 with the Barracudas, and obviously she was part of that Queensland team last year that won their inaugural National League title.
Oh, she's tough. She's a tough competitor. I'm not surprised at all. I just had a seniors moment.
Yeah, there's 2 players on 6 titles overall, and we'll get to the men now. So let's have a look at the men's wrap up at the conclusion of the season or the postponement of the season. The men's top 6, last year's title holders, West, were up there with 92% win ratio. Drummoyne, Sydney Uni, Balmain, Fremantle and UWA rounding out the top 6.
Yeah, it was, again, a bit devastating for the men. Obviously, they put in equal effort and to be so close yet so far. Obviously, West would have been hoping to have featured, and I know there were a few teams underneath them that were certainly eyeing them off and looking forward to playing in the final series and seeing what could happen.
Well, I think both in the men's and the women's, when you had a host of players that were in those Olympic squads, going head-to-head in the finals of the OVO AWL would have been really exciting to watch them really try and stake a claim for Tokyo.
Yeah, most definitely, because, often we have so many players that are overseas in both the men's and the women's programs. So to see most players back in fine form, plus a couple of old sneaky, old salty, crusty players come back and, throw their hat in the ring, and they were finding some good form.
Not happy you're calling him old and crusty.
I didn't name names. You've just got me in trouble now. Salty and crusty. That's sorry, Jono. But it was good fun watching them come back, and obviously their fitness wasn't too far away. It was just a matter of getting back in the water and playing some games, and finding their mojo again. That was actually really nice to see.
And leading goal scorer for the season, 41 goals after 11 games. Jared Gilchrist played a lot less games than some of the other players.
Yeah, he's just got such a dynamic shot and worked so hard. And yeah, once again, I think, the top goal scorers, they'll be sort of, thinking to themselves, I could have cracked the 50 quite, maybe easily by the end of the season. But now it's just going to be one of those I could have stories, which is unfortunate, but I'm pretty sure he would have done it.
Yeah, so then you've got Uga Mihailovic with 39 goals. In third place, Blake Edwards from Drummoyne, 34 goals. Mitch Robinson from Hunter. Up there as well. He got 31. And then a host of players equal 5th place, Kelly Inaba from Cronulla, Daniel Lawrence from Balmain, John O'Cottrell, who you just mentioned, and Angus Lambie from West.
Yeah, nice mixture of players from teams, lots of goals being scored. And, once again, it's unfortunate, but the season that we got, the games that we actually got to see and the quality of the play was fantastic.
And milestones now, we'll go through the men. We're not going to read them all out. Some of the big ones, Tyler Martin getting his 200th game. For Fremantle men, a whole host of boys getting 100 games there. Harry Sanderson got 100 games and also scored, I think, his 100th goal for his career earlier in the season. Going over to Hunter, Jake Robinson, 100 games. Reece Howden, another veteran there, getting 300 games for the season.
Yeah, that's impressive. 300 games, 300 goals.
Yeah, Chris Dyson for Sydney Uni topped it there with 250. Goran and Rosenthal, Goran Tomasevic and Rosenthal getting 100 each. Let's see, UWA men, 200 games, 200 goals for Nick Hughes, and Richie Campbell getting 300 for West, and Lockie Hollis getting 250. So a lot of guys there also in that Olympic qualification squad, all hoping to go to Tokyo in 2021.
Yeah, it's going to sound funny, but we just want them to get there, don't we? Just the opportunity to go, and hopefully they can all hang in there, have a nice little rest now, and maybe if they've got a few niggling injuries, let them calm down a little bit and then get back in, and as soon as they can, and perform to the best of their ability, because we all know that they're capable of doing great things.
So tell me, 6 National League titles. Which man is the only one in our league to do it?
Westy.
We're going to Perth. We're going across to Perth.
Don't put me on the spot like that. I've had a hard day at school. No, I'm still not at school. I have actually graduated school, but From Fremantle. Is it a Neesham?
Yes.
Timmy
Neesham, 6 titles from 98 through to 2012. Well done, Timmy Neesham. So there we go. We've got Kate Ginther and Timmy Neesham, 2 players that have won 6 titles. There's a host of players on 5 titles, and maybe someone's going to get 6 next year when we get to the final series.
I hope so.
Well, folks, stick with us over the weekend. Obviously, we can't bring you the OVO AWL final series, but we are going to do a countdown of the top goals that Deb and I have picked out from the highlights packages. Follow Water Polo Australia across all our social media channels for the countdown, Saturday and Sunday. Thanks for joining us.